Hi, very much welcome to Healthy Oceans Technology and Finance Forum. This is a virtual booth spotlight for plastic-free oceans. And this session will share the best practices from Japan on the plastic resource circulation, as well as plastic waste prevention. Both from the leading Japanese private sector and a social entrepreneur. And this is a virtual expo, and we have a very interesting showcases of the 40 different organizations that have a technology and finance solution from around the world, including 14 focusing on plastic-free oceans. And this is to highlight some of the very interesting cases to guide you to the virtual expo. And you can find the full agenda on the virtual platform, along with the links to knowledge resources, speakers bio, and virtual expo at your platform you are now accessing. So I'm very glad to have two very good speakers from Japan. One from the Suntory Corporation, Mr. Shuji Sonoda. The other one is from the NGO or social entrepreneurship from Japan called MyMizu, Mr. Robin Takashi Ruiz. So this is a very good introduction, I think, for the virtual expo we have. So having said that, first, we'd like to have two presentations first and having some Q&A session. So first, I'd like to welcome Mr. Shuji Sonda from Suntory to present its experience in the PET bottle recycling and other initiatives. Sonoda-san, floor is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Shuji Sonoda from Suntory Holdings. So today I'm going to talk about the sustainability, the strategy for the PET bottles. So let me share my presentation first. Okay. It's good.
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Excuse me. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the Suntory Group's overview. So Suntory is founded in 1899 in Japan, and Suntory is a beverage company with our portfolio covers broad range of beverages products from spirits, wine, and beer to the soft drinks. So we may be known for our Japanese whiskeys, but as you see here, over half of our sales is coming from soft drink business. So while our business is Japan-oriented, we have now been expanding our footprints globally with nearly 40,000 employees working for the group. So since we use PET bottles for our soft drink products, so we believe that it is our responsibility to tackle plastic issue together with the world. So I'm going to today talk about the sustainability strategy for the PET bottle. So here, we launched Suntory Group Plastic Policy in 2019 to tackle the plastic issues in a global market. So we are talking about how we can provide the strong leadership for transforming into a recycling-oriented and zero-carbon society to bring about a world where the diverse animal and planet life shines and resonate. So here we have four big pillars for the plastic policy. So the first one is recycle and renewable. So now we have 2030 target, and I'm going to talk about later. And the second pillar is reduce and replacement. So we are trying to reduce plastic usage as much as possible. And the third pillar is innovation. So we will invest for the new technology. And the fourth pillar is new behavior. So we need the society to change the behavior. So like, for example, we are running the education like a class for the elementary schools to teach how we separate PET bottles for the the waste segregation. This is our plastic policy, and here for the first pillar of the plastic policy, we have 2030 target regarding the recycle and the replacement. So we are aiming to switch all PET bottles used globally for sanitary products to be made of recycled or plant-based material by 2030. So achieving zero use of the virgin petroleum-based materials. So we are now trying to change either all the PET bottles materials to the recycled material or plant-based material. We call them the sustainable material. So I'm going to talk about the technology today. So the first one is the recycling technology. So the B2B means bottle to bottle. You may know the horizontal recycling. That meaning is PET bottle to the PET bottle. So in Japan, we launched the bottle-to-bottle recycle system in 2012 by the mechanical recycle. Then we launched the F2P direct recycling technology. That is flake to preform direct recycling technology. So we eliminate the process and we achieve less CO2. So we can achieve CO2 emission by 70% or more compared to making the petroleum, the based materials. So we can reduce about 70% the CO2 emission by installing the F2P, the direct recycling technology. So we developed this technology with the recycle company in Japan called Kyoei Sangyo. And for the next one. And here, I'm going to talk about the plant-based the PET bottle. So our target is to switch all PET bottles to recycled material or plant-based material. So we are developing the plant-based PET bottle as well as the recycled PET bottle. So we have partnership with US company Anelotech to develop plant-based the PET bottle. And last year we announced that we developed 100% plant-based bottle, the prototype. Still we are having a lot of challenge to achieve the commercial production. So we are now we are working on to find out how we can get to the commercial production by 2030, the target. So then here, this is one more the recycling technology using by the used plastic. So we have the partnership with Anelotech, and we also developed the new technology to use the single-use plastic directly into the basic chemicals such as the benzene, toluene, or xylent. So we launched the joint venture with the other cross-industry partners to develop the commercial scheme for this technology. So we are accelerating to develop our technology and expand the technology for our global the company. And in Japan, now we are planning to achieve use of 50% or more recycled PET bottles for the soft drink business in Japan in 2022, this year. And also now we are accelerating our initiatives as a group, meaning for the global market, like Europe and Asia or ASEAN or USA. Okay, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Sonoda-san, for sharing us the very leading example from the Suntory Group, which is really leading the beverage sector in Japan and also in the world. Thank you so much. So, like for those audience who has questions to the speakers, please type in to the chat box, and then my colleague can share it to you, share to me, and then like to the speaker, and we can probably answer to your questions. So next is Mr. Robin Takashi-Ruiz from Maimizu. So floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. My name is Robin Takashi-Lewis, and it's really an honor to be here and to hear from such an influential and powerful company in Japan who's really taking action on this major issue. So thanks again for having me. And today I'll be speaking about tackling plastic waste through the power of technology and community. And this is very much related to the previous presentation, but we're tackling the issue from a slightly different angle. And so I will be discussing the role of technology and innovation in this session. So a quick introduction to myself. I am the co-founder of Maimizu. I'm also the representative director of social innovation Japan. And over the past 10 or 11 years, I've been working in the social business space, climate change, and also international development. And one of the really big moments that led me to starting Maimizu was actually a walk along a beach in the southern part of Japan. And as you can see, the ocean is beautiful, there's lovely beaches. And on one of the mornings there, we came across a very big pile of waste. And among those were PET bottles from not just Japan, but all over the world connected by the oceans. And so we began to think, how can we tackle this such a big problem, which is such a global scale? And so we started to look into the statistics. So every minute globally, we consume over 1 million PET bottles. And while many of them are recycled in Japan, for example, many of those in other countries end up being lost into the natural ecosystems and causing many both environmental and social problems. And likewise, when we think about how society is constructed, often the default option is single use, is a disposable option. And so we thought, what if we change the default? What if we really redesign society to be fully circular with no waste? And that was the idea behind Maimizu. Mizu in Japanese means water. And what we've done is we have created a platform of over 200,000 locations around the world where you can take your reusable bottle like this, any reusable bottle is fine, and refill with free drinkable water. And what's unique about this is it's fully community driven. So it's not a service that we provide. It's co-created with people all over the world. So every day we have people adding information about water points in Tokyo, in Australia, in Singapore, everywhere across the world. And through this, we're creating a new ecosystem of water fountains, of partner restaurants, partner hotels, and spring water as well, where you can refill your water bottle. And so we've gamified and innovated the water space. So the big idea here is we're switching from single use to a shared and circular society. So again, using MyMizu, take your reusable bottle and refill on the go for free. And our secret recipe is technology plus community is systems change. So technology is a fantastic thing, but without the people, without the people behind the technology, the people to make it happen, then we often don't see the systems level change. So that's something we really, really take seriously, is how to combine these two elements. And that's why we've crowdsourced and co-created this entire platform. So every single one of our 200,000 spots has been added by someone and is checked by a team of people who believe in our mission and so on. And what's quite unique is that we have this network of about 2,000 partners, shops, cafes, restaurants, hotels, big brands like Hilton Hotel, Patagonia, IKEA, all the way to very small family-owned businesses where you can refill your water bottle in any of these locations. And one of the key things that helps us to scale our impact is partnerships, which I'm sure many of you have been discussing during the forum and are very passionate about. But we work with, for example, global brands like Nike and Audi. With Nike, the sports brand, we did a sports and sustainability campaign where we had runners all over Tokyo refilling their water bottles instead of buying single-use plastic. We also partner with city governments. For example, Kobe City, which is one of Japan's big cities. We did a heat stroke campaign last summer to help people hydrate without the plastic. And we also work with a lot of schools, universities, and nonprofits, everything from design competitions to beach cleans and everything in between. So my call to action, I know this is very short, but my call to action is we built MyMizu so that it can be adapted and innovated to other countries. This is not just for us to keep, this is for everyone to use and to innovate within their home country or home region. And so one example was recently Audrey Tang, the digital minister of Taiwan, was in a media interview and said that in Taiwan, they combined the idea of MyMizu with Pokemon Go and created a new gamified zero waste tea system in Taiwan. So this is possible anywhere in the world. And this is how we create truly disruptive change. We have to think of how to start from the bottom and redesign our society. So my call to action is together, let's redesign our world to be more circular. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Hi, Robin. Thank you very much for very interesting initiative, especially like combining the digital platform with to maximize the use of the existing infrastructure and services, which can create some new service model. This is a very promising, I think, approach for the coming decades, I think. So having said that, I'd like to, well, still already we have 12 minutes left. So I'd like to raise one question each for the speakers. First one goes to Sonoda-san. So like I saw that you're trying to mainstream the recycling in very high quality recycling. But for that, I think that as you showing that the collaboration among the other beverage sectors, as well as the bottle makers or recyclers, would be a key. So how Suntory facilitates such cross industrial collaboration? Do you have faced any challenges? Someone's unmuted.
So I'm going to talk about the couple of the key points to accelerate the recycling system. by the collaboration. So the first one is a common like a rule and regulation. Like for example, like a PET bottles. So we have the industry, the guideline for the PET bottle, the specification to make PET bottle recycle easily. For example, so no color should be no color, or should be shouldn't be contain PVC chlorine, and should be a monomaterial, something like that. So we need to develop the common guideline and regulation. And the second thing is the collaboration with not only the corporate company, but also the government and mostly the local government. Because the local government is working on the collection system, and so we can collaborate with the local government and through the collection to the recycling system to develop the whole supply chain. I think this is the key, big two key things for the collaboration.
Thank you, Sono-san. I totally agree what you said, and to facilitate this kind of very high quality initiative by private sector. So you mentioned that some sort of guideline, either it is a voluntary industrial guideline or governmental guideline is needed. For example, for the no color for PET bottle, that is one of the good example from Japan. And other one is a collaboration with especially the local government. Local government plays a really crucial role for the lifestyle as well as for the waste management. So I think this is a good key message for these regions, actors in this region. So thank you. So for Robin, I have very similar question, but in my understanding, Maimizu was inspired by the similar initiatives in the other cities like in London or New York. So is there any particular challenge to promote such initiative in Japan? Or like you little bit showed that example Taiwan, but if the other NGOs or social entrepreneurs try to promote similar initiative in their country, what would be your advice?
Thank you so much. So I would say that for us, there were some challenges for sure. There are many, many challenges, but just to be very brief, one of the challenges was we heard in the beginning that this would not work in Japan because culturally, people are not willing to share water. But then what was really interesting is speaking to people in their 50s and 60s, where they were saying that 30 years ago, water was actually for everyone. Everyone shared water anyway. And just during the past few decades, we've had this shift in terms of ownership and perception. So what's been really interesting since launching Maimizu is to see that people really responded well and they make it their own thing. And many young people, for example, go into their communities now and saying, hey, can you join the Maimizu platform and really help us to expand what we're doing? So there were definitely challenges, but eventually we managed to get over some of those. And secondly, with regards to other social entrepreneurs and social innovators in other countries, I would say it really helps to have a very clear mission, a North Star, because then people can join, whether they're big companies, governments, schools. Having that very clear mission and a clear focus can really help galvanize the support.
Thank you, Robin. So that the keyword you raised is technology plus community, and probably plus mission or vision will be a key, isn't it?
Yes.
Great. So do we have any questions from the floor or like audiences? It seems not. So then I would raise one common question to both of you. So this is hosted by Japanese government and then organized by Asia Development Bank. So how this kind of public international cooperation by the Japanese government or like Asian Development Bank can help you to mainstream like your initiative or similar initiative? What kind of expectation do you have for this kind of public international cooperation? First, probably from Robin.
I think what's really powerful about the role of government and the role of multilateral organizations is that it's a perfect platform for sharing insights, for sharing case studies. And when we think about social change, I like to think in this framework of top-down, bottom-up, and then middle-out. This middle-out section is not so often talked about, but of course we need the role of government to have regulation, to incentivize people to take the right action. And of course we need the bottom-up action, the community level, NGOs, social entrepreneurs. But I think this middle-out section is the most important because it connects the local case studies, the local insights with the powerful hand of the government. So I think that's why these kinds of opportunities are so important, because we can make sure that we're speaking the same language and we can support each other as we go about our business.
Thank you, Robin. Then Sonoda-san, from the Suntory's perspective, do you have any?
Yeah, I think the important thing is the global the network. So like especially the Asia. So because but still in Asia, the recycling infrastructure is not developed yet. So we can help the Asian country through the government, the network. So yeah, really, I think it's very important for us and also for the global perception.
Okay, thank you, Sonoda-san. Listening to your interesting answers and discussion, like we received several questions. So let's see whether we can cover just one of them. Japan has such an amazing recycling process compared to somewhere like Australia, very much community driven. Is there any advice how to promote this kind of the community willingness to participate in such kind of initiatives, like community willingness to recycling, either Sonoda-san or Robin?
I'd be happy to share just one example, but in the case of Japan, there's a really pioneering local town called Kamikatsu. It's in Tokushima Prefecture, and Kamikatsu is very famous as the zero waste town. And one of the things they do really well, if I understand correctly, is the communication design. So they have this facility, and all of the information is very clearly laid out, and it kind of helps to communicate why it's so important to recycle and segregate the different types of rubbish and so on. So I would say having very clear communications and maybe having a small local champion, like a small case study that works really well, like Kamikatsu, can help to inspire other cities and other towns as well. So that's just one example I can think of in Japan.
Thank you very much. So now we got lots of the questions. But time is limited. This is only 30 minutes a session. Actually, this is to invite you to the virtual booth. And then at the virtual booth, I think the speakers or their colleagues will be there. So you can directly pose your questions. I can see at the chat now to those excellent speakers. And still like this virtual expo, virtual forum is on today. So please join. And also recording from this session will be available here on the virtual platform. So as I said, exhibitors will be there to answer your questions, including today's speakers. So please give your question to them and then have a good dialogue. I see lots of good questions about some recycling in small island country and so on. So, but there is a very limited time. So thank you very much for joining us, and please join for the virtual booth. This is for your introduction. So thank you very much for the speakers, and thank you very much for the audience.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.